reflecting on non-judgement, which is one of the key attitudinal foundations of mindfulness. And in its very gross sense, it's obvious that judgment can be around blaming and criticism. It can be quite forceful and categorical. And there's another subtle layer to it as well, which is just that sense of, I like this, I'm drawn to it, I'm repelled by that, or maybe something, an event, an experience leaves us neutral. And we're constantly aware of whether we like something, we don't like it, and we're trying to align ourselves with the experiences of life. And so within that, there is this constant struggle, which is said to actually create suffering, because we're never at peace with what actually is. So the ultimate goal is to just be with whatever is. And I'm sure we've heard that expression, it is what it is, it just is. Eckhart Tolle talks about isness, and it's so automatic to pass judgments and to know whether something is good for our survival or not. You know, it's very important as far as human beings are concerned. But if we can step aside from that judgment and just be with what is, it can take away the struggle. And this is particularly relevant when it comes to our views or our experience of ourselves. And it was something that came to mind just in the last couple of days. I've been quite aware on this mindfulness journey of being kinder with myself, more accepting, but I just exposed another layer of just not feeling enough, feeling perhaps that I could have managed this illness better. I might have been able to not succumb to it in the first place. Am I making the right choices? Almost there's an assumption of getting things wrong before I assume that I'm getting them right. And to be able to let go of that and be kind with myself and even address myself with terms of endearment, you know, dear one, we're on this journey, and yes, it's tough, and maybe I can assume that I am enough in the first place, rather than assuming some kind of shortfall, some need to improve or change or fill something that's missing, complete something that's incomplete. And sort of hard to put into words, but it came to me in a conversation from a wonderful healer friend who gave me a beautiful Christian healing, and was talking about this, you know, gremlin on the shoulder that can be there, ready to criticize and correct and be strict, and how much easier it is to be one's own best friend and to put aside criticism, especially the harsh ones, and to be aware of the subtle as well. And some of that is so deeply ingrained that it's hard to identify, and we might feel a little scared letting go of it. You know, will I become arrogant, complacent if I'm not on my case? So in sitting meditation, we have the opportunity to notice these judgments and to use it as an experiment to play with being a little kinder. And the kindness is so tied in with the non-judgment and enables us to be more expansive and freer of a stress response as well. So just to be with what is. And it's a very big ask to be with something like a life-threatening illness. And it might be that it's just for a moment. There's a capacity to simply be with and let go of the struggle and the what-ifs. Even if it's not enduring, it can be a little oasis, a little peace, letting go of the shoulds and shouldn'ts and enoughs and judgments. So I invite you to join me now for a few minutes of mindfulness of the breath and being aware of when the judgments come in. And usually it's, I've got a busy mind, am I doing this right? I wanted a peaceful and it's not, or oh wonderful, I'm in bliss, and that's a judgment too. So let's meditate together, settling into a dignified posture with the neck nice and long, the eyes closed if you're comfortable with the eyes being closed. And drawing the attention into the body, and feeling perhaps that transition from thinking about the words that have been shared to simply experiencing the physical sensations of sitting, sensing the body, the touch and contact, the weight drawing downwards, the support of the chair and the floor. And maybe the mind has wandered many times and there have been several little comments or judgments already. Just being aware of how it is to connect with the sense of touch, the sensations in the body, and come back from the thoughts which are almost inevitable. And with the sitting, there's the breath. And connecting with the senses brings us into a direct experience of now. The air moving, the body changing shape and sensation. As the air is drawn in and out. And allowing the breath to be as it is. We can even have thoughts and judgments about that. How is it to just be with the breath as it is breathed by the body? And if it's shallow, being with the shallow breath. If it's slow, being with the slow breath. And the same if it's deep or even or uneven. Just being with the breath as it is. And bringing the mind back to noticing the movement of the breath, the physical sensations. And are we being kind and allowing? Or are we listening to the little gremlin? And maybe as we enjoy the caress of air in the nostrils, we can enjoy a sense of being enough. Letting go of the need to improve or change or complete anything. Being with this breath in this moment, and being with ourselves just the way we are. Exploring the experience of the breath with curiosity, with interest. And viewing our experience not in order to judge it as good or bad, but viewing it to know and experience it more fully as it is, judgments aside. Really interested in the pause, the flow. The rhythm, the sense of breath. And noticing perhaps how infusing our practice with kindness can help to dissolve the judgments. Here we are, just practicing. This breath and this one. Connecting with the senses and the being. And a few more breaths in mindful awareness. Just here, just now. Kind and accepting. And then getting ready to open our eyes. And now we have the opportunity to bring some of this awareness into our day-to-day lives. Are we speaking from a place of kindness, or is it the little gremlin that is assuming we've got it wrong? I look forward to seeing you again soon for another mindfulness shared session.